Hey, from the beautiful desert Southwest. It was pretty snowy today, you guys. This spring snowstorms, they don't stick around long, but they can dump a lot of water, dump a lot of moisture. The mountains are just still receiving a bit of snow up on top. The valleys received snow earlier, and in fact, just a second ago, the snow moved through, and it looks like there's a little bit more moving in right over there. We have a little bit more snow, and I'll actually turn around and show you to the east. The mountains to the east are getting a Mom, you are in the right place. Look what I am here to show you. The endangered Utah prairie dogs. Can you see them out there? Here they are. We've come to a prairie dog colony to show you the prairie dogs, but we'll save those. We'll save those for you. In fact, there's one that keeps popping his head up right there. So I'm hoping that he comes back up and you're able to see the little guy. Oh, look, there's one right here. Look. See, we have one right there, too. Oh, look how cute they are, right? Look, there's a little Utah prairie dog. So these are an endangered species, and I'm going to be quiet. And I'll tell you a little bit about these guys here in just a little bit. I forgot my tripod, you guys, so it's going to be a little shaky, and I apologize about that. This guy's not sure if he can trust me yet or not, so he's just peeking out to look at me like, is this guy gonna hurt me or not? Um, but I'll explain kind of how they talk, a little bit about their community, because this is a pretty good-sized colony right here, and I'll talk a little bit about the measures or the things that are being done to reestablish this population and to assist in the recovery efforts as well. Isn't he cute? Yeah, I'm going to be quiet and just let you guys look at him for a minute. So this is a Utah prairie dog. The scientific name is Synomys parvidon. Synomys parvidon. But there he is, up close and personal for you guys. We'll talk a little bit about their adaptations as well, kind of their makeup, their color, everything about them in just a little bit. Okay, let me zoom back out so I don't make you guys sick. But welcome back to the desert Southwest. They're adorable, huh? And you can actually look out here in the distance. The young are going to be coming up soon, but they're playing. Do you see a bunch of them playing out here in the distance? Like you can see them running around. They're actually very, very social animals. They live in communities and they absolutely have the time of their life, right? So they're out there having the time of their life right now. And you can see a few more right there. There's a couple that are crawling around. They're foraging, looking for food right now. And then you'll see them kind of playing a little bit. So they are just starting to wake up, you guys. They have been hibernating all winter. Can you guys hear them? That's the sound. That's their danger call. And then you can see they all kind of stand up and look around when that happens. So there's the one that's calling in the front, and that's how you know which one is the matriarch or the patriarch. It's usually a female that will kind of stand at guard and tell everybody when there's danger around. So they looked around, but they're not. Don't say giant rats, they are adorable, but they are part of the same family. They are part of the same family that includes rats. Does anybody know what that family is called? So actually, Mom, that's not a bad name. I know how people are using it, but they are actually part of the same family. Does anybody know what the official name is of that family? They're very cute. They're very cute animals. You know, some people have rats. Oh, here's one that's calling now. I was like, I can tell that it's closer. Let's see. So they blend in really well. So this one right there is the one that's calling now. Can you see? So she's kind of setting off the call. The one behind her is not really paying attention. It's like, I've been sleeping all winter. I want to eat now. Dorito, Dorito, Dorito. How's it going? Rodentia, right? Just in time for the gopher rut, right? These guys have already bred. They're done, Bart. We don't have to worry about that. In fact, they probably already have their babies down in the burrowing system, right? So the babies are underground right now, and they will emerge in May, right? His name is Dopey. They're very, very cute. We have some that are really close here. I'm going to be quiet here in just a minute, and you'll start to see them pop back up, right? So the ones that are right next to the road right here are not going to pop up until I be quiet. So we're going to try to be quiet so you can see them. A little closer. But they give that chirp sound. Can you guys hear that chirp sound that they're giving? Rats can be cute too, the white ones. Yes, right. You need to marry a gopher. Go for her to pick her up from work. Dorita, you're too much sometimes. You are way too much. So she's giving out that call. It's lasting quite some time, right? Let me turn this around and say hi to you guys. Hey guys, Blaine here, broadcaster in the desert southwest part of the United States. Oh, let's turn it. I forget that I'm on landscape here. Let me see so I can see what I look like. Let's get this all situated. There we are. There we are, right there. It's good to see you all. Yes, the ground squirrels here in Iowa sound like that too. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit. So just so I have some credibility here, I am a biologist in this area. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I work or exactly what I do, but I do work with wildlife, right? So this is the Utah prairie dog, or the Sonomys parvidon, is its scientific name. It is an endangered species listed as threatened on the endangered species list. At one time, there was hundreds of thousands or 100,000, right? But now they're down to just in the low thousands of Utah prairie dogs. And they were threatened because of course, eradication efforts. People look at them as rats, right? Or as like a pest rodent. And when the farmers came into the area, these guys dig holes in fields. They like the good soil where everybody else likes. And so back when the West was being colonized, eradication efforts took place as well. From poison to shooting to you name it, it happened to these guys, right? So, when the Endangered Species Act came out and when biologists started paying attention to um, the species and wildlife in general, they noticed a decline in the species. They're like, oh my gosh, there's not a lot of them here anymore. When you see them in the towns, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many of these. But when you actually get out and start counting them and doing surveys on them, you realize, wow, there's not very many Utah prairie dogs. And in fact, they're only located in about three major geographic areas. This area where I live in, Cedar City Valley, and over this mountain here to the east. Oh, look, the mountains are getting snow. Can you guys see the snow falling? It's snowing. It's snowing behind that house. So you can see the snow starting to engulf the mountain. So on the back side of those mountains is another colony. And then on the other side of that mountain. So they're kind of just socked in this southern part of the state here. And they're kind of isolated from all other species. So this species has evolved into its own species. It's genetically different. It has different colorations and also different communication skills that have been mapped and different markings. So on this one actually has a white tip tail and it has eyebrows, dark eyebrows. Those are some of the noticeable difference, and it's a little bit smaller in size. So we have a black-tailed prairie dog and we have a Gunnison prairie dog, which are the other prairie dogs that can be found here in the desert Southwest. But these guys are genetically different and they do have those different markings, which is pretty cool. They've been studied extensively now, and there's ongoing studies and efforts to help them reestablish. So it's pretty cool. This species prefers Pepsi from what I've heard. Yes, Bart, you're absolutely correct. Dark eyebrows shield the sun. No, I don't know what and why they have the dark eyebrows. Drita, I'm not 100% sure why, but we'll look at one. Let me see if this one's popping up yet. So I need to back up. Let me back up. And there's one let me turn off my Bluetooth so I don't there's one that keeps popping up right here by the road. And I think that if I back up and leave it be and give it some space, it'll probably come back up so that we can look at it, right? So let me just see. I want to make sure that we're not too far away from it. There we go. There we go. Um, so here we go. And then also, so they have those characteristics. And then the prairie dogs, believe it or not, they have been studied. Their language has been studied up to 16 plus different ways to vocalize, so communicate with each other. These guys are great communities. So they live in these populations. So imagine them. These are prairie dog communities, right? They live in what's called meta population. So the prairie dogs are separated into groups, but those groups are within a meta population. Does anybody know what meta population is? Here's the biologist and the instructor or professor coming out of me right here. So they live in what's called a meta population, and I'll show you what that is here in a moment. Bet they're Mormons, right, Rita? Yes, because there's so many of them in one community, right? There is a lot of those. So we'll talk a little bit about their communities here in just a little bit. Hey, Piano Man, how's it going? Major population when the migrate. Many land development projects in Iron County are shut down. Yes, you must be looking on the internet. So this is a very political animal, as you can imagine. There's a lot going on with this animal because this part of Utah is booming right now. So many people are moving here, especially from Southern California. And these guys live where people want to live, right? So they're natural aerators. So this is the benefit, because some people ask, well, what's the benefit of the prairie dogs? So we'll get to that in just a minute. But they live where people want. So there's houses all around, right? Let me go. Happens to me on 1700 West. Happens to me on 1700 West. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Multi-stream. Are you in Cedar City? Okay, look at this. So let me show you. Here we go. So here's one population of them. So this would be one group right here. You can kind of see, and I'll zoom in and show you. I wish I had the sketch tool. You guys, I miss the sketching tool. I need to get that. Apps, we need to get that back, right? So there you go. You can see there's houses being developed out here. And this is just one little population of prairie dogs. And look, the snow's still hitting the mountains. Isn't that beautiful? So, yep, you've got it. The Eagle Valley subdivision was shut down for new developments. There you go. It wasn't shut down. It was just halted, right? Okay, so here we go. Here we go. So this is where prairie dog colonies or prairie dogs live, in the ground like this. Let's zoom in. I'll show you what their burrowing system looks like, right? So there's a burrow right there, and their burrowing system is extensive. It's extensive underground. It's not just one little tiny hole. It's a whole system underneath the ground. So that little entrance right there probably connects to that entrance, which probably connects to an entrance over there, right? We had snow flurries this morning. Yes, Dorita, look, we're starting to get some more snow moving in here. So unfortunately, these guys live where humans want to live. And so if somebody wants to develop this ground right here and put it into a subdivision, and the prairie dogs are here, because it's an endangered species, there's certain rules and regulations that have to be followed to try to minimize the impact or mitigate. And what mitigate means is try to help the species, some other way. So biologists will come out here and try to trap as many of these. So say this landowner right here wants to develop this ground and wants to clear it from prairie dogs. They'll come in and trap as many as they can out of here, and then they relocate them. They relocate them to other areas. That's one option that they have, right? Or they can pay money, and that money will be used towards efforts in maybe fixing up colonies. The second thing is diseases and predators. Um, they can affect them too. Let me see. Snow here too. They were here first, right? Mom, we got to work together. So, hey, Thomas, how's it going? Welcome to the broadcast. We just waited them out to move on elsewhere. Multi-stream media, I had no idea you were here in Cedar City. Are you in? I had no clue that you were here in Cedar. But there are options. If somebody has prairie dogs on their property. There's options, so nobody's stuck. Nobody's stuck. They just have to follow that protocol. So the bubonic plague. A lot of people think that prairie dogs actually carry the bubonic plague, which they don't. They don't. It's the fleas that are on the bubonic plague, or the fleas that are on the prairie dogs that actually carry the bubonic plague. The Utah prairie dog, or prairie dogs in general, they actually have no immunity to it, and they actually cannot survive the bubonic plague. It wipes them completely out. So it's we'll let this car go by. It's a little loud. So if a flea carries that bubonic plague and it bites the prairie dogs and it injects that into them, the survival rate is extremely low. Not bubonic plague. No, bubonic plague. Bubonic plague, right? And so these guys probably wouldn't last more than 2 weeks once they get that plague. And it's pretty sad. I've seen colonies where prairie dogs will be as numerous as this. And you guys, in fact, there's several right here watching me. Let me zoom in so you can see them. Look how cute they are. So there's some that are looking at me and there's some that are not. But if they contract the bubonic plague, it's pretty much going to wipe the entire colony out. Because whether we like it or not, I mean, those fleas are going to probably spread from one prairie dog to another. And in fact, these guys are actually cannibalistic. I know they're cute little faces and everything, but they do have cannibalistic tendencies, you guys. So, hey, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's actually kind of a smart adaptation that they have adapted over time. I mean, think about it. Why wouldn't they eat Uncle Willie when he passes away, right? What would be the benefit of eating Uncle Willie or Uncle whatever, Aunt June, when they pass away? Well, they look really cute, right? Spray the fields for fleas. I'll tell you a little bit about some of the efforts that are taking place. But what would be a benefit of eating another prairie dog, right? Oh my gosh, you guys. I got to show you the mountains real quick, and then we'll get back to that. Why do you think that would be a benefit? Look how beautiful. I mean, the snow is starting to hit up there in the mountains. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. More snow. More snow. I don't think I would want to eat a prairie dog, right? And I'm actually starting to get some flurries on top of me. But isn't that beautiful? It's absolutely beautiful. So here's a couple of the benefits, right? Here's a couple of the benefits. So what is one of the main things that is threatening the prairie dogs? It's predators, right? So coyotes, bald eagles, golden eagles, hawks, ravens, you name it. Man, yep, definitely man too. But they want to eat these guys. These guys are at the bottom of the totem pole in the food chain. These are like, I don't know, like the flour barrel. Like they're an easy picking, right? It's like going through the drive-through at McDonald's right here. It's like quick, easy, you get your fill. I mean, it's not a steak dinner, but hey, it's enough to quench the appetite or quench the thirst and the appetite or fulfill the appetite. And so the prairie dogs have psychologically maybe realized like, hey, if we eat Uncle Joe or Aunt Sybil or Uncle Willie, not only do we get the extra protein from that, but we get rid of the smell, right? That attracts coyotes, all the raptors, and everything else. So smart thing that the Utah prairie dogs have adapted to be able to dispose of the body correctly, right? So they eat them to not only get that free protein, get that smell out of there that's going to protect the community, right? So those are some pretty cool adaptations. Let me see. I might have missed some of your comments here. Let me go back. And then I'll talk a little bit about the fleas. Tender Vittles. Dorita, he has not answered any of my questions. Okay, hubby. Arg. Share. What are your questions? Let me scroll back. Hey, Lenny. Sorry, I'm missing some of your questions here. Let's see, share. Spray the fields for flea. Is that what your question is? Give them flea collars. Okay, let me tell you what it's all about. Okay, so some of the things that are being done right now, there's studies going on, right? Because there's a lot of money that goes into endangered species. Because the Endangered Species Act is not just something that the United States participates in, it's a worldwide program, right? We believe that wildlife not only belong to the people in the states here in Utah where we reside, um, they're not owned by any federal agency, but they belong to the people of the state where they're at. But the Endangered Species Act has kind of taken that one step further that said, hey, you know what? Wildlife is critical to the worldwide population. So the Endangered Species Act covers the entire world, right? And whether you love it or hate it, it has its good things and it has its bad things. I'll agree with you there. But for these guys, they are covered under the Endangered Species Act. I can't remember. Oh, so there's a lot of money that goes into this, a lot of federal funding, right? And instead of trying to push back against communities and people that want to develop, um, because they do reside on private property, and instead of penalizing and damaging maybe somebody that has prairie dogs on their property, there's governmental agencies that are working with people to minimize the impact. And what they do is they're developing colonies that are on public land where private individuals won't have to worry about that, right? And so prairie dogs are trapped and relocated to new colonies. People go in, agencies will go in, develop fake prairie dog colonies, kind of as starter communities, and the prairie dogs will take over and develop their own communities. And voila, they are off private land and on public land. However, this has deemed to be a slow process because prairie dogs are a very social animal and they need their networks, right? They need their networks, or they get out somewhere and the bubonic plague comes in and wipes them out once they started to develop a new community. So what's happening now? Witness relocation gophers. Prairie dog get government condos. Yes, absolutely. I wanted to know if they were gophers or herbivores like squirrels. What do you think? What do you think? Prairie dogs can be cannibalistic, right? So we'll get into that in just a little bit. But let me finish this train of thought here where I'm going. So they'll go in, relocate them, and when they're on these public properties, like Bryce Canyon has a good amount of Utah prairie dogs that are now established in the park, which is amazing because not only is the land protected, but the prairie dog can be protected within the park because there's no development, right? They have decided to do some research on developing some type of vaccine for the bubonic plague for the prairie dogs that helps them against the bubonic plague, right? And they have put it in food and put it out there. They've tried to apply it in other ways, aerial droppings. So they'll put it in some type of pellet, and then they drop it over a prairie dog colony, and it's in a controlled setting, so everything is monitored to see if that can help get rid of the fleas or help immunize them against the bubonic plague. I don't necessarily know the outcome yet, but that's an ongoing thing that's happening right now. So what happens when that happens? The biologists are out on the site, they catch the prairie dogs, and they literally comb the fleas off the prairie dogs and test the animal to see if they received any of that vaccine or chemical, whatever they're studying at the time. They also will go in and spray each of the burrows with like a flea powder to try to get rid of fleas so that they cannot infect the prairie dogs with the bubonic plague. So bubonic, Bart, enough of you. Who would win, prairie dog or snake? Probably the snake. These guys, they really are the bottom of the food chain. Really the bottom of the food chain. Yep, Cher. So there's too many of them to put collars on, right? Or they're too difficult to put collars on. But if they can drop little pellets of alfalfa pellets with a vaccine or some type of flea repellent in it, then that is the easiest way. So there's a lot of studying going on with these guys, a lot of money, um, because wildlife matters, right? Wildlife matters. It's a good indicator species, and wildlife can increase the quality of life for everybody. If one species is out of balance, it affects the whole circle of life, right? Because everything fits in kind of a perfect balance. Speaking of, why are Utah prairie dogs beneficial, right? Why are they beneficial? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Like, some people look at these guys and they're like, what is the benefit of, somebody in here earlier said, a rat out in the field like this? Like, do they really have a benefit to their existence in the world? Like, do they benefit humans at all? Like, what do you think? What do you think? Do they benefit? Yes, wildlife matter. Yep, they do. Um, what would benefit the benefit of a Utah prairie dog be? I mean, you think about it, it's like a rat. Yeah, it is. It does cause damage. Definitely, it digs holes. So this property is holy, but not in the right ways that people want to protect, right? It's got a lot of holes in it. They can get into yards and dig up sprinklers and eat flowers and everything else. They make great slippers for my cold feet, says Dorita. They could. Well, most animals contribute to their surrounding ecology. Yep, that is true. Of course, they're part of the ecosystem. They can aerate the field. Yes, share. She's onto something there. Um, Cleaning field mice. They could, but not. That's probably not what they do. Yes, honest. Okay. So let me tell you what their benefit is, right? So I told you the first thing is they're the bottom. They're one of the bottom animals on the food chain. I mean, they're sitting ducks out here in the open field. Let me get back to showing you, because enough of look at me. So they are sitting ducks out here in this open field, right? I mean, look, there's one just like, looks like it's praying, sitting up on its mound, like do 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 do. There's a couple of them right there in that shot. There's some more over here. Let's see, and the one that I'm waiting for to come up, he still hears me, so he's not going to come up right away. I'll be quiet here in just a minute, and he'll possibly come up, and then we can see one right here close, by the road, because I want you guys to be able to see them up close and personal. And then look right over here. Sorry, I'm going to make you sick because I'm just spotting some. Let's put it right here. I forgot my tripod, you guys. I cannot believe my selfie stick, my tripod. So there's a couple more. So they are the bottom of the food chain. And so a lot of species rely on these guys for food. Yep, your eagles, your hawks, your ravens, snakes, badgers, coyotes, you name it, their predators need them to survive, right? So these guys are the food source for a lot of species above them. And when these guys are doing bad, then those guys are doing bad. Those species are doing bad. And when those species are doing bad, something else is doing bad. So it's a big ripple effect, right? It's a big ripple effect. So these guys are can be considered an indicator species, right? When they are declining, something's happening in the whole scheme of thing, which will have a ripple effect on other species. So that's one thing. Now, Cher brought up another interesting fact: is they're natural aerators. Now, do you guys know what that means? Aerators. Aerators. We have the Las Vegas Raiders, right? Go Raiders! Woo! Yes, they are a buffet. Absolutely, Bart. Yes, they for sure are. They are like a buffet for a lot of species. Dina D, how's it going? They're natural aerators. Look at this mound right here. And this is not the biggest colony, right? But look what they're doing. What are they doing? I want to go out there with my plastic hammer. Share, I know, right? It's like bopping them on the head. They're bringing up rich nutrients from way down in the earth, and they're bringing it up to the surface. So over time, the top layer of dirt kind of loses nutrients. So these guys are like aerators. Yes, like the Army Rangers. These guys are like natural tillers, or yeah, they till the land, or they bring up the rich nutrients from way down in the earth, so that vegetation like grasslands can grow. Um, there have been some studies that indicate as the Utah prairie dogs, or as prairie dog species in general excuse me, decline, um, noxious weeds and other brush and things that are not as beneficial to wildlife start to move in, right? So if you look at this field, it's a grassland. It is a grassland right now. Beautiful, rich nutrients, and prairie dogs have probably moved from that field over there. So there's even more grass over there. But you look where prairie dogs once were, and they're not anymore because maybe the bubonic plague hit. There's nothing but pinyon and juniper encroachment. So let me just show you on this hillside over here. These trees are pinyon and juniper, and they're encroaching into the valley. Like, a lot of people love trees, and they're like, oh my gosh, we want those trees everywhere. But those trees can be detrimental if they increase to a certain point and encroach into critical areas where wildlife get food. And so what they found is, as prairie dogs have died off, or as they've moved, brush and non-essential food sources for wildlife has started to pop up. We get thicker tree stands, pinyon and juniper stands, which decrease the amount of forage or food for wildlife. So these guys are kind of the tealers of the land, or the aerators. They go in, they get rid of all that stuff. They bring that rich nutrients up that grasses need, that forbs need, that are critical for wildlife. Um, and they kind of are like the farmers for the other animals. So they have kind of a dual purpose. They have a dual purpose, right? So they feed the animals that are on the bottom of the food chain, but they also help aerate and make the habitat for big game animals like mule deer and elk and pronghorn. They help bring back those grasslands that are crucial for them. Rabbits, everything else, you name that. So they do have a benefit, right? They do have a natural benefit to the whole circle of life, um, because when they are affected, then maybe the eagles are affected, then maybe the hawks are affected, then the hawks affect this, and they can't, the grasslands have started to suffer, which can affect the mule deer, which can affect people that rely on mule deer for food. And so there's a whole pattern of things that happen. So let me see, I might have missed some of your comments because I wanted to get all that out before I said that. How, hey, they could dig for gold, take them to the, yes, absolutely right. They aerate the ground. Yes, soil microbes. Yep, absolutely. Let's see. Love prairie dogs. Ella, how's it going? Ella, welcome. Oh no, to prairie dogs. So the prairie dogs are actually starting to do really well. The Utah prairie dogs are stable or increasing, and there's a lot of support in the community now. The support has improved drastically over the years. It's really suffered here, but now there's a lot of great support here. Okay, let me see if there's any more comments. By the way, viewing through what's called field fence. A field fence right there. Yes, that's a wildlife friendly fence too. Did you call puppy cat? You said rabbits. Yes. Can they infect predators with bubonic plagues? No, they can't, because prairie dogs well, like, I mean, well, I guess if you went and while it was infected and maybe you ate them, you could have a chance, right? Or if you went and tried to maybe pick one up and love on it and it bit you and it gets enough or gets the saliva in you, I guess you could get it that way. But these guys really don't stand a chance once they get the bubonic plague. In fact, there's no resistance at all. They will just they're sick and they would not move at all. Um, so they're once they're infected with it, a good 2 weeks and they're done with, right? So a whole colony, whole population will be wiped out. So we used to do the prairie dog when we lived in the vast land of office cubicles. Oh no, Ella. Where are you, Blaine? Newbie here. Jamie, I'm in Southwest Utah. So outside of Cedar City, between Cedar City and St. George, Utah. So they are actually clever little prairie dogs. Yes, they are. Can they infect predators with bubonic plague? No. Um, but here's where they can, where they do. In fact, and actually, so your household dog or your household cat can actually carry the same fleas that prairie dogs do home to you, right? I mean, a coyote walking through this colony, or a rabbit, or a deer, or an elk, or whatever, could have brought those fleas in and gave it to the prairie dogs. So it's the flea that is the vector. The flea is the one that carries the bubonic plague, and these guys just don't have any type of immunity whatsoever to the bubonic plague. Now, I guess I shouldn't say whatsoever, because there are colonies that studies would say have survived that, or they have genetically been able to withstand the bubonic plague. And that's more study that is being done as well, to see if maybe intermixing prairie dogs and breeding them with different genetics could have a benefit in healing these type of things. So whoops, not good. I hear they can eat your face off, so I'm not in. Oh, no. um they won't eat your face off. These guys are very pretty innocent animals when it comes to. There's a lot of them standing up. Let me show you guys. Very, very cute. Look at this. Let's see. Can you see them all? There's like quite a few of them. They kind of stand up. They sit on their tush or their behind, and they look like they're praying. They look like they're praying. Now you can hear. I'm gonna put you guys down on my car real quick. So um, you can hear that chirping sound. That's the sound they make. It's kind of like a. And then you hear another one that's like a. That's kind of their like friendly chat back and forth, right? They want to know who's yakking so much. I know they really do. So when you hear them kind of talking back and forth, like that's their friendly, like their comfortable sound. When you hear them go doing that chirping sound, that's their warning. And you can see they're all standing up because they're aware that I'm here, right? They know that I'm here. They're standing up to attention. And usually there's one matriarch or one dominant prairie dog in the group that will set off the call. Now, is that always the case? No. There could be multiples that do it, but usually studies have found that one of them will let off that call. And that's probably what's happening right now, is that one let off the call and they're all standing to attention, like, be prepared. Do we need to go down? So they'll do that same thing if a hawk is flying over, if an eagle is flying over, if one of them sees a coyote. They're all going to kind of let off that same noise, that chirping noise, and then they know that they need to get by their burrow. So they'll usually go and sit on the top lip of their burrow so that they can jet down in there, because that is their defense system, is their burrowing system. That's really the only defense that they have against predators, right? So I'll ask you earlier, are you dating testicle? You're terrible, Dorita. You are terrible. A safety thing. Yes. So let's talk a little bit about their burrowing system. Their burrowing system is very extensive. They can go down up to 8 feet or more down into the ground, and they have different chambers and tunnels and rooms in their system. And these have been mapped out. They've put cameras down in many holes and actually mapped prairie dog holes and colonies out. So love listening to animals, their language, right? Yep. Reported for the plague in all states. Only 7 cases per year in USA reported for the plague in all states. Yep. Safety things I asked you earlier. Oh, okay, I don't even want to read that again. Let me make sure there's nothing else. They want to know who's yakking. Okay, so we're back to the beginning. You just wanted to hear me say it. You're terrible. So they kind of the general burrow looks like, so it'll have a tube that comes down and then it'll go into a first room. Let me just kind of tell you about some of the rooms that they have. They have a room where they store food. They have a room where they poop or they use the bathroom if they're underground. They have a dry chamber. And this is what's cool because a lot of people are like, we'll just flood them out if they wanted to get rid of the prairie dogs. Or what happens if a big rainstorm comes and lots of water goes down into those holes? They actually have an escape room that we've discovered, or that biologists or researchers have discovered, that the prairie dogs can kind of go up in. It's a chamber that kind of goes up and it's closer to the surface, which it'll keep the water from coming up in there. So they have like a dry chamber as well. And then they have a place that they sleep and several other rooms. And then they connect to different tubes as well. So there's multiple entrances. So like if a snake comes down them, or their number one predators, which we don't have any here right now, is a ferret. A ferret. So, oh look, there's a tumbling weed. There's a tumbleweed, you guys, tumbling through the colony. Can you guys see it? Where did it go? There it is. There's a tumbleweed tumbling along right there in the colony. Let's see if I can catch it. There it is. So we have a tumbleweed in a prairie dog colony, kind of a picturesque view of the Southwest, right? So there's a tumbleweed going right through a prairie dog colony. So that's one of the issues of relocating them to a new colony is nobody can build their home right like they can. So it takes time to for them to develop a new prairie dog colony, right? So they move them to burrows that have been dug by humans, use piping system to go down in the grounds with the intent that, with the obvious knowledge that they're going to develop their own with that. So there's a lot of predator control around a prairie dog colony as it's starting to be developed, right? So they can go in and trap badgers out of there. They can go in and get rid of coyotes, things like that, that would interfere with the prairie dogs establishing a new colony. So it's quite a fascinating thing. So their burrowing system is their defense. That's how they get away from their predators. If a snake comes down or a ferret, they can go out the other hole, going another hole, and they just kind of run around until they go away. If a coyote comes around, they can go down and stay. The ones that are sitting right here by the road, when I started being loud, they have not popped up. So their burrowing system is where they feel safe. That's where they're protected, right? Can somebody tell me what time it is? Okay, you guys have to help me. I have to be done at 4:50. Okay, I have to be done at 4:50. I have somewhere to be at 5 o'clock. It is what time is it? It's 4:33. If you guys could help me. So at 4:50, let the sirens off. Let me know because I have to go. So anyways, yeah, their defense system is their burrowing system. They're able to get away from them. I've seen badgers in prairie dog colonies just devastate their burrowing, trying to get at them because they're hungry. So badger will dig them up. So that's why if they have an escape route out, they can get away from those badgers. So they definitely need their burrowing system to survive. And then in the wintertime, they need that burrowing system to be deep enough so that they can survive the cold winters because it gets cold up here, right? And these guys do what's called a torpor, which is a hibernation. It's not a true hibernation like bears or other things that do true hibernation. These guys torpor. And torpor means it's a slight hibernation. So they'll go down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They'll pop back up, kind of see what's going on. Like, oh, yep, winter's still happening. They may eat a little bit, socialize if anybody else is up, and then they go back down underneath the ground. Oh, Bart wants me to quit and do trivia. Are you guys all on the same page? Should I quit talking about prairie dogs and do trivia? It'll be Bart's fault if I quit and do trivia. Is that what you guys put a 1 in there for trivia? Put a 2 in there to continue to talk about prairie dogs. 1 for trivia, 2 for prairie dogs. Because I'll do whatever you want, right? I'll do whatever you want. If you guys want to keep looking at and talking about prairie dogs, we can do that. Or if you want to play trivia, we can do that. Dorita says trivia. Okay. 1 for trivia. Okay. We're going to do away with prairie dogs. We're going to do away with prairie dogs. Bart says trivia. Okay. Dee Dee says trivia. You guys don't give a crap about wildlife. I just learned that. Good to know. Good to know. So, the last thing that I'll say is that, well, maybe I'll save it for another time. Like we'll be a to be continued. To be continued, right? Let's see. Okay, guys, here we go. Here we go. My hat says Utah. Utah, can you see that? Land of contrast since 1896. 1896. 6. Send them to the dog pound, right? I know. Yeah. Okay. You guys are done with prairie dogs, so we're going to move on to one round of trivia. One round of trivia, right? Here we go. I love learning about nature. Darby, welcome. Oh, that little prairie dog's popping up right here. He's so cute. But since you guys don't want to see prairie dogs, I won't show you. Oh my gosh, he's like right here looking at me. Like the cutest face. Oh my gosh, so cute. So cute. Okay, trivia time. Trivia time. Here we go. Are you ready for this? I think you are, right? This is 4 questions, 1 answer. I'm going to ask you guys a series of 4 questions. Those 4 questions are going to produce 4 different answers. Those 4 different answers are all going to have something in common, and you guys have to tell me what that is, okay? Here we go. Question number 1. Question number 1. Where do bees make their honey? Where do bees make their honey? What is it? What is it? Where do bees make their honey? Not in the comb. Not in the comb. In the hive. Dorito coming in with the first correct answer. Then Mom's in there. Then Share. Hattie's got it. Yes, they are in the hive. They are in the hive. Absolutely correct. Okay, here we go. If someone is pregnant, you could say they have a blank in the oven. If someone is pregnant, you could say they have a blank in the oven. Yes, Dina D coming in with the first correct answer. Then Multi-Streams got it as well. Dorita saying bumps. Lord, she's like, if you're pregnant with twins, you've got bumps in the ovens, right? A baby, a bun. Aunt B's got it. Yes, Dorito. Not an alligator, says Bo saying alligators. Cher says a bun. Lenny's got buns. Dorita saying hairstyles. Okay, I jumped. Hairdos. Yep, maybe not. We'll see. Is Close Dog still there? Nope, it looks like he's gone back down. But we'll see if he's there as soon as I'm done with this round, okay? Question number three. Which legendary folk singer was born Robert Zimmerman? Now, Bart, I want to see you answering these. If you're going to answer the last question, you got to answer the questions in between, too. Which legendary folk singer was born Robert Zimmerman? Not Robert Redford. Bono Dylan. Nope. You're so close, Multi-Stream. Bob Dylan. Yes, it was probably typo, right? It was Bob Dylan. But I couldn't give you Bono Dylan because that just wouldn't work out. It was Bob Dylan. Correct. Okay, question number 4. Right here on Trivia and Wildlife. Here we go. Name the household tool that has strands of absorbent cloth attached to a long pole. Name the household tool that has strands of absorbent cloth attached to a long pole. It is a mop. Yes, that is correct. Oh, come on. Let me scroll back. Come on, scroll with me. Multi-Stream coming in first, then Dorito. Then Aunt B's got it. Not a hammer. A Beardo. Bob Dylan. Yes, mop. It is a mop. That is correct. Mom's got it as well. So we have hive, bun, bob, mop. What do those have in common? Indeed, they are hairstyles. The first person that got that was Bart. Bart, let a fart. Blew trivia apart. Yes, Bart, you got it. You got it first. And then the second person was Dorito. And then Mom got it too. Wait, Mom. No, then Mom. So Bart, Dorito, then Mom. Yep. And then let's see, did anybody else get it? Multi-stream got it as well. Let's see. Who else got it? I think that's about it. Yes, he wins the first prairie dog. You guys, how am I doing on time? Are you guys watching for me? Hopefully we're doing okay. I have to leave at 10:02. So 50, I have to leave. Where are we at? What are we looking at? Here we go. Second round, moving right along because I want to be able to, I'm going to roll my window up because if I roll my window up, that prairie dog is more likely to pop back up because it won't be able to hear me as loud. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. In golf, which word is used to describe completing a hole in 2 strokes under regulation? In golf, which word is used to describe completing a hole in 2 strokes under regulations? Bart's got it correct first. It is eagle. Eagle is the correct, not birdie, not par 2. Lenny's got it finally. Eagle is the correct answer. That's what we're wanting. Bart saying this could be raptors. Raptors, you never know. You never know. We'll see where we're going with this. Anyways, it is eagle. Eagle is the correct answer. Question number 2. What is the name of Tintin's dog? What is the name of Tintin's dog? What do you guys think? Not a Kestrel. Not Kestrel. Dorito. Jumping the gun over there. Dorito. Not Rusty. Not Bob Dylan. Not Bob Dylan. What is it? What is it? Who's going to get it correct? It is Snowy. Share's got it correct. It is actually Snowy. Correct. Melanie Mum's got it. Absolutely. Aunt B's Tintin. Yes, it's Snowy. Lenny's got it too. Mr. Woof Woof. I like your reach, Bart. I like your reach. But it is Snowy. So, okay. Question number 3. Question number 3. What type of port wine is yellowish brown in color? Wait, let me see what you're saying here. Bye, everyone. My laptop keeps freezing. Thanks. Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome. What type of port wine is yellowish brown in color? And hell, you guys, I don't know wines. I don't drink alcohol. Okay, so I don't know wines. Is it pronounced tawny? I think it's tawny, right? I don't know these wine things or alcohol. Like that's like over my head. Tawny. Tawny is the correct answer. So the person that got it correct first was Bart, then Mom, then Lenny. Yes, I'm actually naming the actual bird. Yes. Okay, next question and the final question. Here we go. You're trying to be sneaky. I'm trying to be sneaky. Here we go. Amish communities often gather together to build a structure in an event called what? Tawny is a good type of wine. Thank you, Bo. Barn raising. Yes, Share coming with the first correct answer. Then Dina D. Bart's got it. Share's got it. Yes, barn raising is the correct answer. Barn warming. Okay. Dorita's like barn owls, bat raising, barn raising. Hello, Rodman. How's it going? Lenny, yes. Outhouse raising. Barn owl. Mom saying, oh, what's going to happen here? Haps. Oh, Abby, welcome to the broadcast. Thanks for your subscribing. Here we go. Here's the correct answers in no particular order. We have, actually, they're going to be in order. Eagle, Tawny, Snowy, and Barn. What are all those have in common? Barn, Snowy, Eagle, Tawny. Yes, they are owls. They are owls. Absolutely right, Aunt B. They are owls, and yeah, they could eat prairie dogs, every one of them. Although owls probably do not eat prairie dogs, right? Because prairie dogs are not nocturnal like some other rodents are. So, not likely that these owls are going to eat these prairie dogs. But they could. They could, right? 4:45 Mountain Time. Thank you. I have 5 minutes. So, the first person to get it correct, I have to give it to Dorito, because she did way back. She said owls. She said owls. Then Share, and let me scroll way back and let's see. Unless somebody else said it before. Oh, okay. Come on. Come on. Okay. Barn owl. Let's see. Then mom's got it too. Share says owl. So it is. Dorito. You got it with owls. You're itching. You got fleas. I know. Maybe I've got fleas, right? No, prairie dogs. You guys, yeah. Uh, they won't give you the fleas. They won't give you the fleas. Okay. Maybe I have time, maybe not. Beardo ain't no weirdo. That's my contribution to the show. How's it going, Doug and Allie? I don't know who's here, but welcome. Lightning round. That's right. We're going to do this one lightning fast as we've been here looking at prairie dogs, right? I'm going to see if this one will pop back up so we can show you a prairie dog up close. It hasn't yet, but it may here in just a little bit. Hey, Doug, how's it going? 4 minutes. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. If something is outstanding, oh, wait, I might have done that one already. Doug here. How's it going, Doug? Welcome to the broadcast. Good to see you. Welcome to Southwest Utah. Just a quick round of trivia with a view and animals today. We've been exploring prairie dogs today. Here we go. What's the name for the site? Okay, what's the name for the site defect where you only have a very narrow field of view? So, what is the name of the sight defect where you only have a very narrow field of view? You didn't even wait. I know, right? Tunnel view. Yes, Dorito got it. Multi-stream. Dina got it. Tunnel vision is the correct answer. Absolutely right. Moving on to question number 2 because we are running out of time. All right, here we go. George Washington grew up in a house called blank farm. George Washington grew up in a house called blank farm. Does anybody know who's been there? Who's been there? Who? Not Melody. Not Melody. Good guess though. Sorry, I was letting my little prairie dog out. Were you prairie dogging? Oh no, Mom. Not Cherry Tree Farm. Ferry, yeah, Ferry Farm. Ferry Farm. Share's got the correct answer. It is Ferry Farm. That's where George Washington grew up, is Ferry Farm. If you didn't know that, you're welcome. Now you do. So when you're on Cash Cab, if you're in wherever and somebody's like, where was he raised? And you can say on the Ferry Farm. You'll never forget it, right? The Ferry Farm. That's it. Okay, transportation methods. Ooh, Share may be on some. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Here we go. Popular with retired people. Name the most organized card game in the world. Popular with retired people. Name the most organized card game in the world. Not Pinnacle. It is Bridge. Bridge is the correct answer. Multi-stream's got it. Bo's got it. And I don't know if I've ever played Bridge. Bart's got it. Yes, Melanie's got it. Share's got Bunko. Not Bunko, but it is Bridge. Hattie's got it as well. Bridge is the correct answer. So go play Bridge. Here's the next question. Which car maker created the Mustang and Model T? Which car maker created the Mustang and the Model T? It is Ford. Share's got the correct answer. Yes, Ford. Multi-stream's got it. Ways to travel over water. Dina's got Ford. Melanie's got Ford. So the correct answers are tunnel, ferry, bridge, and Ford. What do they have in common? Let me see. So we have ways to transport, right? Transportation methods. That's not exactly what I was looking for. What I was looking for, and unfortunately, he got it correct. Bart, ways to travel. Oh, wait, but he's saying over water. Some of them are not over water. So unless he fixes that, I don't know if I can give that to him, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we give it to Bart? Ways to travel through water. River crossings is the correct answer. River crossings is the correct answer. That's how you can cross rivers. Um, that's it. That's it. Ways to travel on water. That's correct. Oh, you guys. Okay, let me show you. Okay, real quick. We'll give it to Bart. There's our little buddy. There he is. How could you not love that face? You guys notice they don't have any ears, or they do have ears, but they're little tiny ears, right? That's so that they can go down in the hole. Super cute animals. I mean, very social. When they greet each other, you guys, they kiss. They can bite you. Yes, they can if you were to go pick them up, but they're going to run away, right? They will run away if you try to pick them up. So anyways, guys, thanks for that award. Whoever gave me the award, I really do appreciate that. Glad that you guys stopped in to hang out for a little bit. Thank you, thank you. I am out of here. Join us Sunday, possibly Sunday, for a Beardo Weirdo. You guys, we'll see what happens. You guys are awesome. I love you all. Have fun. Thanks for being here, and I will see you guys next time right here on Trivia with a View and wildlife and whatever else we're doing at the same time, right? Look at cute. We're gonna name it. We're gonna name it Haps. You guys, there's Haps right there.